Good morning. It's Sunday, and I'm here not just for another Bitcoin update, but to talk to you about something bigger: freedom, opportunity, and a long-term plan that could change your life. I'm not just trading Bitcoin, I'm building with it. Today, I'll show you the tools I use like SwipeCoin and Levels, and share how I'm turning business income into Bitcoin savings using strategies most people, even bank CEOs, have never heard of. If you're serious about your financial future, this is the video to watch. So currently, this is the Levels systems on the weekly time frame. I have both a long-term perspective with Bitcoin, say 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, and then like 1 to 2 years. This is the and it's not financial advice, but this is just the way that I've speculated it for the next 2 years, some different options or some different pathways. And a lot of what I've learned to look at it is just on different levels. There's all kind of levels. We have levels, and the way that I understand it is that it's built on you can look at the levels on different time frames. So we have on the charts, and on any kind of chart, you can be able to pull up different time frames. This is the weekly time frame. Each candle you see on the screen, I'm going to zoom in. Each candle you see on the screen is a weekly candle. So right now, I'm zoomed in on the weekly time frame. All right. Now, before we get too far with the weekly time frame, I really want to zoom out and just think about the big picture for a minute. I want to share with you a clip from a news interview this last week. The lady's name is Kathy Wood of ARK Investments. She invests in stocks, Bitcoin, many things, and she's very well respected in that community as an investor. And I'm going to play a clip that she speaks of on her base case scenario for Bitcoin for 5 years. Base case meaning it's just what's middle of the road. And then also her bull case base case for Bitcoin by 2030. This is her predictions by 2030.
Bitcoin getting to $500,000 a coin, depending on the time frame. I think you were hoping for it to be there now. We are back up over $100,000 now. We're about $103,000. To the extent you have a thesis about this, what is it at this point, and what would your new target be?
Yes, so we have always had a 2030 target, the base case in the 700 to 750,000 range, the bull case in the $1.5 million range. David Puel, our analyst and our on-chain analyst, put that piece out recently, and you can see the building blocks, how much share we expect Bitcoin to either take from gold or grow that store of value market. Institutions moving in, and they've barely moved in. We have 1 million more coins, roughly, to be minted.
So that was her speculation. That was her speculation for Bitcoin by 2030. So if you heard her, she said her base case was around 700 to 750,000 by 2030. Her bull case was around 1.5 million. So that's her speculation. Now, just say if you believe that, that's the thing. Say if you believe that either one of those cases were an option or a case, then how would you play it? Right? So right now we're right around 104,500. And by 2030, if what happens, what she says, this is not me and it's not financial advice, it's just what she says and speculates. So say it does go from 104,000 to 700 to 750,000. That's a 7 plus X on our return. That's wow. And that's just if you just looking at it from the numbers. There's a lot more to it than just investment. I feel like Bitcoin if you study it, and I feel like it does take a lot of time to understand it. So I encourage you to start with 10 hours of study. Just go on YouTube or wherever you get your information, and just start finding credible sources and just learn. Spend 10 hours just learning. Spend 10 hours just learning about what's going on. And then once you get that far, then go to 100 hours, ideally. Go to 100 hours. So that's something to consider, because it literally, understanding the technology, it really is a technology. For me, it's kind of like, I remember coming up in the 90s when the internet was, when computers were coming on and internet was coming on, and it was a lot different. I first personally got on the internet like in 1999, but I remember how it was I just didn't understand it. I was like, how do you get around on the internet? But what happened was there was the technology was being built, and people were starting to figure it out. So eventually they had different technologies, and then they built this technology called the HTTP technology. It was a layer on top of this system, the internet that was being built. And now we have websites, we surf around, now look at us now, 2025, internet, phones, it's crazy. So a lot of people feel like Bitcoin is also a technology, and it's a technology that's it is solving monetary problems, it's solving technology issues, but it takes some understanding. So I feel like the more you understand, the clearer you get, then the more conviction you have. So it's not just a numbers thing. You're not just putting in something to get out something. You actually believe in what it is. And so for me, that's one thing that's meant a lot to me, is just I believe in the technology. You do hear some people say, well, what if it crashes one day? And it's you always have to. That's why paying attention is really important. So if something like that happens, you just try to protect yourself. But the way the computers get smarter and smarter every year, personally, I'd like to be prepared for any situation. But right now, there's a lot of people going forward that are really behind it. Governments are behind it. Our state of Arizona just passed something so they can build a Bitcoin and crypto. I don't know if it's just Bitcoin or Bitcoin and crypto. There is a difference between Bitcoin and crypto, and it's widely misunderstood. People usually put those things in the same category, but I feel like Bitcoin is, once you understand it, it's in a thing by itself, and then crypto is also separate, but they can both have their own purposes. But just understanding it is, and I feel like a lot of times that's why we're gonna talk about in a little bit about long term. So we talked in the title, we talked about Roth IRAs. So Roth IRA is basically where you can save money after you can save money you've already paid taxes on. So that's the thing. So after, whether you have a job or business income, then you save that money, you can save in the USA anyway, you can save that money into a Roth IRA. Now, personally, in the USA, it's you can save $7,000 to $8,000 a year, and that's any person in the USA with income can do that. So depending on your age, so I'm 56. So after a certain age, you get what's called catch up. They allow you to contribute more. But the beauty about this program that I love about it is that you're saving it as after tax dollars. So when you take it out later, it's no income tax. Now, once you understand the power of that, I think you'll get excited, because when I first signed up for these programs, I have two brothers that are in the banking business, and they weren't aware of these programs. So I was asking their opinion, what they thought about it. So, but what I found out was they didn't really know about it. So they didn't even really know about the Roth, even for self-directed Roths and stuff like that. But anyway, a lot of things have changed. And so with a Roth IRA, you can set that up in the USA. You can set up a personal Roth, and you can put a lot of stuff in it. You can put any kind of investments in it, but I'm putting a majority of mine into Bitcoin right now. But that's the thing, is you can save it, but when you take it out later, there's no taxes. And so a lot of people say, what income tax bracket are you going to be in 10 years from now? Well, I don't know, right? And I don't care, because I'd rather to have 0% taxes than have any tax rate, whether it's 20% tax rate or 40% tax rate. I prefer a 0% tax rate. So that's the beauty about it. So say, for example, if you end up saving 100,000 you had 100,000 into your Roth IRA, then when you say it grew to $1 million, when you go to take it out, it's going to be no income tax. That's the beauty about that. So I hope that makes sense. And then another thing, just in reference to Bitcoin and excuse me, and why it's for me a good investment. It has what's called a supply cap, meaning there's only so many of it. And do you know how many there are? There are there will be only ever 21 million Bitcoin. And by 2034, 99% of it will have been minted and available. It's still being created right now. So it's increasingly scarce, right? And then over the last few videos this week, we talked about institutional adoption. There's billions of dollars being inflowed from these big institutions. Major institutions are flowing billions into it. They're buying as much as they can. And another thing is we can save it offline. So you can actually hold it on like a thumb drive if you want to hold it that way. So there's going to be volatility. See this volatility? There's going to be volatility. That's one of the things about it. We're at 104,000 right now. I mean, we could be at 85,000 2 weeks from now. So, or we could be at 120,000. It's very volatile. But when you're convicted long term, when you have that conviction in what it is, the short term moves are noise. I'm here for the signal. And the signal is this: Bitcoin isn't just digital gold. It's a lifeboat in a system full of leaks. So I'm going to be wrapping this up. This isn't financial advice. It's what I'm doing. I'm putting my business income into Bitcoin because I believe it's the best long-term store of value. I'm using Roth tools to grow it tax-free, and most people don't even know that's an option. So whether Bitcoin's 103K today or 93K tomorrow, my belief doesn't change. I'm here for the long game. And if you're ready to stop drifting and start building, let's do it together. I'll keep showing up here day after day, year after year, because I believe this mission. Subscribe, stay plugged in, and if you want help learning the tools I use, SwipeCoin Levels, Roth strategies, drop a comment or DM me. Let's grow. Be blessed.